Hello and welcome to Renewables Unwrapped. This is the first in our series of short videos where we'll be unwrapping tax, accounting and consulting issues and opportunities in the renewables industry. My name's Sheena McGuinness. I'm a corporate tax partner at RSM and I lead the Renewables and Cleantech sector in the UK. Today, we're taking a closer look at R&D and how renewables businesses can benefit from this tax relief. So I'm joined by my colleague and innovation relief specialist, Lizzie Gosling. Hi, Lizzie. Thanks so much for joining us. Can we start by you briefly introducing yourself?
Sure, thanks, Sheena. Lizzie Gosling, I'm an innovation release specialist. I've been supporting companies access innovation release for the last 17 years. And I'm a mechanical engineer by background, which really helps me have those discussions and interesting conversations with businesses in the technology sector.
I bet they love the fact that you can talk their lingo rather than just us boring tax folk talking about tax rates and percentages. So, can you give us a quick recap on what is the R&D tax reliefs regime?
Absolutely. So it's a government incentive put there to support companies that are working in the technology and science area in the UK. There's been quite a big shake-up of R&D in the last year or so, but in a nutshell, there are two regimes, one for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and one for large companies. So what does that look at in terms of value for those companies? So if you've got a project that's £100,000, an SME can expect to receive between sort of 18,500 to 21,500 pounds of benefit, whereas for a large company that translates to around 15,000 pounds benefit. There are, of course, other incentives that are available. There's research and development allowances for capital expenditure, and also there's a patent box regime.
Okay, yeah. So I've spoken to some of my clients about the patent box regime in the past, and I'll be honest with you, my renewables clients have never really been that interested because it seems like a lot of work for perhaps limited upside. Is this worth thinking about, talking
Oh,
about?
Actually, interestingly, it's something that a lot of companies now are starting to revisit. So, with the shift in the main rate of corporation tax going up to 25%, the patent box giving you a reduced lower 10% tax on profits related to patented inventions, there is a 15% differential between that on profits made for the company. So it really is something that a lot of companies are starting to revisit when they haven't looked at that in the past.
Got it. Yeah. No. Okay, that makes sense. Definitely worth talking about with that kind of arbitrage. Um, so I think there's a common misconception, perhaps, uh, within businesses that the R&D tax reliefs is only really available to people that are working in laboratories, white coats, test tubes are definitely involved. Um, why is it important within the renewables space?
Well, firstly, I'd say that's not the case at all, Sheena. It's across pretty much every sector, and very very relevant for renewables and clean tech sector. We're working with a company at the moment, that is accessing £200,000 worth of cash relief. They're a sector that is developing technology to reduce carbon emissions in the metals manufacturing sector. And for them, it's cash straight into the business to allow them to further develop that technology and to scale up their business. So it's a welcome addition to their funding.
Yep. Okay. No, makes sense. Um, so what should renewables businesses be thinking about when they're making their claims?
First of all, I'd just like to say there's been a lot of changes in R&D recently. It's been in the press. I'm sure you have seen it and heard about it. For example, HMRC have put in their annual accounts that just under £500 million worth of R&D claims they think are incorrect. And that's nearly 5% of all of the claims that are submitted. And that ranges from, fraudulent claims all the way through to claims that are just haven't fully considered the guidelines. So with all of that as a backdrop, HMRC are increasing their compliance activity. That means even genuine claims, if they're not well supported, HMRC may well come and ask you to confirm and clarify some aspects. So for companies, they really need to start thinking about the process that they're applying and the support that they are putting together for those claims that they're submitting.
Okay, and is the knowledge of that increased scrutiny, is that putting companies off doing their future claims, do you think?
I think you have to remember that Treasury are very supportive of this. Treasury really are, looking to encourage companies to invest in the UK. What they need to understand is that the process has been put right. It is in there. The process is demonstrative of what this activity is going on and can show how the R&D has been applied. So it's getting it right the first time around, really.
Got it. And I guess that's where you and your team can really add value, because you know the types of questions that HMRC are going to ask. You know what a good report and claim looks like.
Absolutely. And what we do is we help companies document that, making sure that their process approach is set out, their projects are correctly identified and described, and their costs are set out and are correct costs. So we convey in that report what HMRC want to know, want to understand, which should mitigate the questions. Of course, if HMRC can't understand the R&D and how it meets the guidelines, it's only fair that they're going to ask questions and get some clarification. So any clarification questions that are coming back from HMRC are going to slow your process down and slow down the access to those funds back to the company. So getting it right, getting that documentation in, mitigating against that is a really good way forward for companies.
Perfect. Okay, makes sense. Understood. Thanks, Lizzie. That's been such a helpful overview. So at RSM, we have many years of specialist experience within the renewables and clean tech sector. And please get in touch with me or visit our website for more information.